I also had malrotation of the intestines. I'm telling you, my life has been filled with a lot of struggles. A malrotation of the intestines until 2002. I had to have surgery to fix the problem because they without that surgery, they told me I would have been dead. Okay, I was suffering, struggling with that. Not able to keep food down at times, always, vomiting and the whole nine. That, like I said, that went on for a long, long, long time. And in 2002, thank God, the doctors were able to figure out what was going on because they misdiagnosed me many, many times. A lot of different things. Hey, what's going on, everybody? I want to talk to you about the story of my life, or my life story. And I know that people have questions. Sometimes you do hear my accent. It's still there. So one of the first questions I get is, where were you born? So I was born in the Caribbean island of Montserrat. It is spelt Montserrat. Montserrat. This island is located some 27 miles southwest of Antigua or Antigua, however you want to pronounce it, and about 30 miles northwest of the French island of Guadeloupe. Some people might say Guadeloupe, but it's Guadeloupe, right? So that's where I was born, in Montserrat, and like I stated, that's the beginning of my life, right? So the island is fondly called, or it's known as the Emerald Isle of the Eastern Caribbean. Reason being, it's Africans and Irish heritage on that island. So that's where I got my last name. My last name is Ryan, R-Y-A-N, which is an Irish name. So I'm related to the Ryans, and on my mother's side, I'm related to the Corbetts. My grandmother, which is my mother's mother, her father was from Ireland. He was an Irishman that came down to the island. Him and his brother, they migrated to the Caribbean. And so there goes. I have Irish heritage along with African heritage. Right? So that's just one. The next question I get, when or where did you accept Christ? I accepted Christ at the age of 15. And that was back in, so once I tell you the year, then you'll figure out how old I am. By the way, I just had a birthday last week. So, hey, January 24th. So yeah, back in 1985, I was still on the island of Montserrat, and I accepted Christ. There was a crusade going on. The evangelist's name was, it was a lady, by the way. Her name was Evangelist Ruth Lynn Bradshaw. And she was preaching for a week of revivals in a Pentecostal church in the village of Dyers. And I went, and one of those nights, and it was very close to my birthday too, I remember that, I accepted the Lord. She was preaching on, I think the topic was Samson and Delilah. And that message really, really struck me, and I'll never forget it. And I accepted the Lord. But since then, at around age 24, I had backslid, went back out in the world, and did what I wanted to do. So, yeah, but for the most part, I grew up in the church. Okay, so that's when and where I accepted the Lord. And then I migrated to the United States of America back in 1987. So I was 17 when I came to this country. I was in New York, came to stay with some relatives. Along with my dad. My dad came with me. And yeah. But since then, my dad has passed. He had cancer. He died of cancer back in 2008. He had stomach cancer, so he died back in 2008. But I lived in New York for some 20 years until I migrated back in 2007 to where I'm at now, Georgia. In 2009, however, I left, went to London, stayed in London with I got my mom, my sisters. I got a lot of family in London, so I went to London, stayed there for a couple of years, and I came back in 2015. So, yeah, that's part of my life story. Okay, and but I had a lot of difficulties growing up. Most of my difficulties stem from medical issues. Yeah, so from the time I was born, even before I was born, as my mother tells me, because she was sick while she was pregnant with me. But when I was born, I had bronchitis right up until age 24, and along with others. I also had malrotation of the intestines. I'm telling you, my life has been filled with a lot of struggles. A malrotation of the intestines until 2002. I had to have surgery to fix the problem, because they without that surgery, they told me I would have been dead. Okay, I was suffering, struggling with that. Not able to keep food down at times, always, vomiting and the whole nine. That, like I said, that went on for a long, long, long time. And in 2002, thank God, the doctors were able to figure out what was going on, because they misdiagnosed me many, many times, a lot of different things. But then it was a nurse who was attending me who said she's seen my same problem. What I was going through, she saw it in pediatric cases, went and spoke to the surgeon, and that's when they figured out. So it's amazing, because normally they say that when you have that, you don't really live past a certain amount of years, as a child, and not die if it's not detected. I lived to be grown. I lived to be a grown man. At 2002 is when this thing was figured out. So you tell me that God isn't real. That's the power of God keeping me alive for such a time as this, when I could proclaim the word of God and what he has called me to do. So I had surgery, fixed the problem, and I'm here. Hey, growing up, all them childhood sicknesses and stuff, yeah, I got most of them. I had the mumps, I had the scabies. I think when I was in my 20s, I ended up getting the chicken pox. I had the measles. Listen, man, I had everything. Okay, so it's been a lot of ups and downs over the years for me. It has not been easy health-wise, and even in my relationships, relationships, talking about dating, trying to find a life partner. It hasn't been easy, and I've made a lot of mistakes. Yeah, so you got to choose wisely. When you go to choose, it's not so much about looks. It's not about chemistry. Yes, that has a part to play. You really need to seek God to find out who is that life partner that he has for you. You need somebody that's going to look out for you. They have your best interest at heart at all times. Somebody you can talk to, somebody you can laugh with, somebody you can pray with, somebody you can cry with. You need that. Find a person that's selfish, you got to stay away from that. If they're only looking about them, it's just all about them, and you realize that everything is about them and their family, think twice. They're not looking out for you. They're only looking out for I, which is them, right? So anyway, I made a lot of mistakes where that's concerned. So I'm just saying to you, choose wisely. If you don't choose wisely, you're going to pay dearly. Believe me when I tell you that. You know, a lot of people like to go to weddings. Many people can talk about weddings that they've been through, and you know, bride and groom beaming, happy that day, and they can look back and say, well, yeah, since then they've gotten a divorce. How many people you know have gotten divorced? People that you know that have gotten married, remember when they got married and they got divorced. So hey, you know, it's real. It's life. So choosing the wrong life partner would definitely cause you some issues in your life, and you don't really want to do that. You know, so you got to ask God for guidance, right? So back to my health issues. I also suffer from chronic sinusitis. So sometimes you'll hear me sound like I'm a bit muffled, stuffed up. Chronic sinusitis. I'm telling you, I have had every issue in the book. Then I find out that I've got bursitis, which I thought it was arthritis. It's not. They told me it's not arthritis. It's bursitis. And then now, back in October, and with the bursitis, sometimes it hits me so bad in my joints, I got to take medication. I got to take like painkillers. And sometimes so bad that I remember one time it hit me, and I was on the floor, couldn't get up. I think I was probably there for about a good half an hour, 45 minutes. The pain in my joints, in my hip joints, was so bad I couldn't get up off the floor. You know, my daughter came, and my daughter came, and I just couldn't get up, couldn't move. So the bursitis ain't no joke. It's not easy. And then in October, I got diagnosed with early stages of prostate cancer. You know, but God has been good. Early stages of prostate cancer. And so I'm dealing with that right now. I'm going through side effects and everything else, and just praying that when I go back, that things will start improving. I go see the doctor, that things will be improving. My life has not been easy. So please subscribe if you haven't done so already, and click the bell icon so as not to miss any new videos when they're posted. All right. Also, like and share the video so that YouTube would, you know, share the video with more people. You recommend it to more people so they'll see it, and then more people would subscribe to this channel. Right? Remember, there's freedom in truth. There's nothing like knowing what is true. So there's freedom. You know, you become free when you know what is true. You're not bound up. You know, truth is the ultimate thing. When you know truth, you can really move forward with your life and do, I believe, what God has intended for you to do, because you're moving with knowledge and truth about what it is that you need to do. Okay, and also your belief. You know, you don't want to believe erroneous things. You want to believe things that are true. So I am William Nelson Ryan, and I will see you next time. Thanks again for watching these videos. Again, God bless you, and just be a blessing to somebody in need. Again, thank you.